In God's name, the beneficent, the merciful. Guys, so far to date, in the last year and change, America has spent $113 billion on what is probably the world's most corrupt government. And that would be the government of the Ukraine. Something like $400 million worth of military equipment that came out of stockpiles paid for by the American citizen, all of which is going to have to be replaced. And it's going to be paid for by who? The American citizen. And the other, 60% of that $113 billion was probably given in cash. And I'm just going to ask the question, how much of that is Zelensky and his people snorted up in cocaine? How much has been spent on hookers, champagne, and expensive clothes and whiskeys? I ask because it's my money and it's your money. I ask because that $113 billion is being spent to bolster and uphold a Hitlerite fascist regime. Ukraine has always been a haven for Hitlerite fascists. Look at that. Their so-called Azov battalion. They're running around with SS insignia on their uniforms. And America's paying for it. And what pisses me off more than anything, black people are being asked to pay for it. Jewish people are being asked to pay for it. And what's worse than that? Poor people, and black people in particular, are giving lip service to this. Oh, well, it's a good thing because they're fighting Russians. What's a Russian ever done to black folks? Let's ask ourselves that question. The one European nation who never had black slaves, the one European nation who the other Europeans look at as niggas. What have the Russians done for? I say, what have the Russians done to black people? But let's ask this question: what have they done for black people? Well, let's start with our own population here in America in the 30s. We know what America was like in the 1930s. Black people got up and left here in fairly large numbers and moved to Russia. In fact, Russia's version of Oprah Winfrey is a black woman who is a descendant of a brother, I want to say his name was Henry Golden. Russia and black people. Well, let's look at Africa. When I was born, most of Africa was a European colony. French, Portuguese, Dutch, British, Belgian. And what wasn't a colony, you had places like Rhodesia in South Africa. Who made those places free? Who gave those men and women the weapons and the training, the medical personnel and the medicines to fight the Belgians, the French, the Dutch, the British, Russia, and the brothers and sisters in Cuba? Now, as a child in the 70s, I was told that We should support the South Africans. Huh? America certainly did. Supported South Africa with a little bit of everything. And what they couldn't give them directly, they gave them through their puppet state, Israel. They called it Rhodesia in those days, but it's called Mozambique now. Go look at their flag. Look it up. Google it. Google everything I just told you, and you'll find that I did not tell you a lie. Again, I hear in church fairly regularly how we should pray for the people of Ukraine. And I pray that the people of Ukraine will say, fuck it, give up, and end this shit. Because in the end, they started it. Again, don't nobody want to hear that, but it is true. 2013, 2014, they started mortaring and artillery, lobbing artillery and mortars into places like the Donbass, which were 99% Russian. Everyone there speaks Russian. And they align themselves and think of themselves as the Russian people. Let's remember Crimea and the Ukraine are historically Russian naval ports. It's the truth. And you see, America is involved in this right now because they see a way to try and break Russia. Because they want to be the world's dominant mother. They don't want any competition from Russia or China or anyone else. They want a hegemony. And they want to be the new Roman Empire, the new British Empire. Well, we all know what happens to empires. And if you look, go to Google again and look up the last stages of what an empire looks like. And you'll see the United States of America. We're in the same boat the Romans were in, the Greeks, Egypt, all of them, Britain. You see, we've gotten to be so large and powerful that size and power has gone to our head. America thinks it can tell the rest of the world what to do and how to do it. Take, for instance, America telling places like Uganda, either you sign on to this World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization paperwork that we just sent you, we're going to censor you. We're not going to give you things. And Uganda and the rest of Africa told them, fuck you. We don't care. You know, America tried to tell Uganda and quite a few other African nations who have it in their law that it is illegal to be gay, which I absolutely disagree with. You can't legislate shit like that. It's their mouth. They can do what the fuck they want to with it. You know, I don't have a problem with what they do or how they live their lives. But if the people of Uganda say that it's illegal and that's the way the people want it, who the fuck is America to try and tell them they have to change? Now, I know somebody's going to say, well, you just mentioned South Africa. Yeah, I did. I did. And America supported apartheid. Okay? America supported it. Why? Because we were getting a shitload of uranium and diamonds and gold from the South Africans. Here's one for you. Look up the South African nuclear program. A lot of you don't know they had one, but they did. And in fact, at one point, they had a relatively large stockpile of weapons. It's just the truth. And look and see where they got the knowledge to build a nuclear weapon. Guarantee it didn't come from Russia. Didn't come from China. Didn't come from any of those people that they tell you you should be afraid of. Sure did not. But here we are, 2023, and we are still, in fact, not still, we are now having a debate as to what is and is not a woman. So, how am I supposed to put any faith or trust in this system? Why would you? Why would you support a system that will not support you? I understand. I mean, we are right now in my church having that gay straight discussion. It got pretty lively this morning. And some of it I agreed with, some of it I didn't. And I had some yabbits to both that which I agreed and didn't agree with. As I said earlier, America is under siege. We are we are beset from every direction, left, right, top, bottom, center. Center. Nobody gets along, and the divisions that existed when I was a child have been magnified and magnified and magnified, and they've made mountains out of molehills. I guess that's human nature, though, huh? I tried to keep my bad language to a low roar here and only refer to it as bad language because I know some of you are a bunch of milk toasts when it comes to language. But I don't have a problem with language. God understands language, and God understands the intent behind phrases like "I have no fucks to give." He gets it. He understands the intentionality, and that's what matters. So I'm gonna end this by saying, if you have not reached out and prayed and spoken to your Creator today, do so. Peace.